Vetrix, aka Byron Arclight, a father of 3 children, Trey, Quattro, and Quentin Arclight, wants actually to be able to live as a happy family, just the 4 of them. Also wants to be known as Dr. Faker's personal helper, in order to be able to help Heart's cure. Now, as I said lately in the previous episode, if you haven't seen that already, just very briefly, that Byron obviously got sacrificed by Dr. Faker along with Kazuma Tsukumo, but as you know that Kazuma went to Astral World and Vetrix went into another world, which no one actually knows about this other world that Vetrix even went. Like, it was just like some sort of distant land or something like that. Whether it was part of the Earth or was literally like a whole universe of its own, because to me, it didn't even look like Baryon World as much as it did, because Baryon World is like much more crystallized and all that sort of stuff. But it is very interesting about what that wanted on. Could have been something a little bit more different. Maybe there could have been actually more beings, but we'll go that later to the very end. As you know, that Vetrix, after what happened to him, he actually kind of shrunk, and actually like his age or like height just completely grew shorter, like literally just reversing back into a child somehow. But also somehow in the process, like he felt nothing more but rage, hatred, and revenge. That's all he wanted. He used all 3 of his sons, Trey, Quattro, Quentin, to get revenge on Dr. Faker and his family. So in order to do that, first off was to kidnap Heart, the youngest son of the Tendrer family, and transferring their memories or trying to take their memories or something like that. And since he binded Heart with himself, any pain that Vetrix felt, Heart can feel as well. It can even also share the minds between them. But yeah, if you don't even think that's even creepy or even crazy enough as it is, then wait until you freaking see his face. As you know, that he apparently wears this interesting, strange mask that he wears with them ever since when he came back from Earth. Now, of course, apparently that Vector was actually the one who also controlled Vetrix as well, even though technically we don't see that really happening. I don't know if that's even true, if Vector did actually like possess Vetrix. I mean, we know that Vector possessed Dr. Faker, but Vetrix is a whole other different story. I mean, it feels like that no one should have been around to help him out or anything like that. I feel like that Vetrix just went on his own. But again, about the mask, once he actually revealed himself during the finals of the World Duel Carnival, it was his half of the face was no longer human. It was nothing but an empty black hole. Literally a black hole. I'm not even kidding you. The first time when I saw that freaking transformation of his, I was like, oh my god. I mean, by the way, it doesn't really look terrifying, but it does kind of look cool, not gonna lie. And aside from his, extremely unlikely look, the powers that he also has is called the power of the crest. Now, these crest powers also have the ability to protect themselves. Like, take for example, when Kite was trying to grab Quattro or Trey's souls, their crest actually managed to, react and also helps to protect them. The same thing happens with Vetrix. However, Vetrix has a more powerful advantage than like his sons. Like, first off, when he absorbed the power or memories from Heart, apparently he can manage to freaking destroy like almost like the most of the testing room, because he freaking created like some freaking gigantic plasma ball. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely insane. Also, by the way, he could even possess other characters like Shark, for example, and try to manipulate them and give them their power. Like, amazingly enough, like, I don't know how Vetrix did this, but he managed to give Shark his crest ability, like, out of nowhere, and like, it even shows that Shark even revealed the Vetrix's crest power. Like, I feel like something should have happened there if he was going to have that sort of ability. Like, if Shark kept that power from that Vetrix gave him, I feel like he would have actually had the card Rank Up Magic Argent Chaos Force. But however, that doesn't happen until like very later in the season, which is in New Year's ZEXAL Season 3. Still, I feel like that if Shark actually still kept Vetrix's power, he could have actually used that and maybe probably would have won against Yuma Tsukumo, or could have actually helped use that power to help Yuma and Kite defeat Dr. Faker, aka Baryon, aka Vector. Now, of course, the main numbers of Vetrix's deck is actually number 8, Herald King Genome Heritage, and number 69, Helalrdry Crest. Now, technically, these two number cards actually have the ability to steal other Xyz's monster abilities, which is absolutely broken. Along, of course, with the other archetypes. Specifically, his deck is basically based on the Heraldic Beast archetypes, or Heraldry archetypes, if you ever want to call it like that. It's a very unique deck, and it actually kind of persuades a lot about him, and it kind of works very effectively if you actually decide to use a deck like Vetrix. But if you also take into a look like other specific power-ups, like, Argent Chaos Force, for example, that could have possibly worked for Vetrix to, evolve Helalrdry Crest into Chaos number 69, Helalrdry Crest of Horror. However, again, that card was never introduced until number 96 came along and decided to use that and evolve him with Rank Up Magic, Baryon Force, and something like that. Unless, however, if Vetrix also used Rank Up Magic, Baryon Force as well, I feel like, number one, it could have also made a big difference into the events of the World Duel Carnival Finals. And if Vetrix, whether that Vetrix won or ZEXAL would still win, it really depends. Also, there are some very other interesting forms of Helalrdry Crest that have, had no chances of making it as cards, which I feel like they should. First off, Helalrdry Crest actually, first you have, his base form, correct? And then afterwards, you have, this other form of Helalrdry Crest, which apart from his, Helalrdry Crest of Horror, right? He actually has this other interesting form as well out of nowhere. I don't know how the heck he managed to do it, but he apparently did that when he took the abilities of, the ZEXAL weapons or something like that. And then after that, he turns into this gigantic golden scorpion. What the fudge? First off, number one, those two transformations, I feel would have had the chance to become part of, of the Helalrdry Crest archetypes, especially for Helalrdry Crest. If that would have, if Konami actually ever decided to, make an update for the Heraldic Beast or Heraldry deck for Vetrix, I feel like there was be some pretty serious, tough, OP abilities for these different types of, Helalrdry Crest. This shield thing here and this, scorpion-like version of Helalrdry Crest. That version looks sick as, and I want to see it, and I want to see it as a card. So, Konami, if you're watching this, please let it happen. Please let me see these two forms of Helalrdry Crest. Please, I would love to know your thoughts about that. And what do you guys think? Now, Vetrix, about his character, his basically about revenge, right? That's all he's been ever caring about, and thanks to his number, Helalrdry Crest, that is what basically fuels him. Any anger from anybody, or even from himself, has always been based on that anger and revenge, particularly. But then, of course, after when he dueled against Yuma and Astral as ZEXAL, that, obviously that kind of changed now, and, as the good thing is that he managed to get a really good understanding about, what family and friendship is all about. It really finally managed to get a big bit of a hold of him, managed to understand, and finally having to return the souls of Heart and Kite and even his 3 sons. He just disappears, and then, of course, he then comes back, and he actually forgives Dr. Faker, actually, which is amazing. Crazily enough, in Season 3, Vetrix does come back, when Yuma and Shock have their final duel to fight for the 2 worlds, Astral, Earth, actually 3 worlds, Astral, Baryon World, and Earth. And Vetrix actually was helping Kazuma Tsukumo actually like hold the two worlds together and not collide, which is also another crazy thing about Vetrix. I did not know that Vetrix could do that. Like out of nowhere, he decides to just hold a moving planet, and so can Kazuma Tsukumo. Like literally, that's another crazy thing that he can do. Okay. So what do you guys think about Vetrix? Do you think he's actually a really interesting character to talk about? And also, do you think his deck is good? Do you think he will back? Do you think he has like pretty good decks? And what do you think about the two interesting forms of Helalrdry Crest? Do you think that Konami should probably print out cards like those to have their own effects or something like that? Because I feel like they should. They look sick, guys, and I want to see them. And by the way, if you actually want to see any other videos like these, like whether it's like YGO ZEXAL or any other analyzing videos, like how I've been doing the Vampire Knight ones specifically, please let me know that. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you want to see that kind of thing or not. These are 100% videos that I've been wanting to do for a very freaking long time, and that's why I've been wanting to do it for so freaking long. So yeah, please let me know if you want to see more of this sort of stuff. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe if you haven't. And stay safe, stay healthy. And like always, my name is Mad Dog, and may the days be mad and rad!